two accelerating drums from the K controllers for ASL 100. The one over here is the K35G2, which is the style of controller that was in the car when we got it. The other one had been stolen. This is the K35C controller, which came out of our stock. Both of them were in fairly used condition. And by that you can see this burned off area. These are called segments because they're parts of an arc. So the ends of these segments had been badly burned off. Now what I'm in the process of doing is rehabilitating many of these. We have some new ones, we have some old ones. We have a whole stock of these right here, and they have the Loctite end, which is very rare now, but we happen to have quite a bunch of them. So where I can, I'll put new ones in, and where I can do it, I'll restore the original. You can see this one looked as bad as this one an hour or so ago when I started it. Now, so I'm showing if it's original, that we didn't change it, we just rehabilitated it, or new. Now on the end of every one of these, you have a segment, or a burning tip, excuse me, a burning tip, which is supposed to take all the punishment. And you replace that, instead of having to replace a whole long piece of copper. All of these are bad. There are 14 of this style in the controller, and we're going to have to replace all of them. And the other controllers about the same way. Now along the way, they put in another style called the lap type, and the lap type is the more modern kind. It has a, whether we can, yeah, here's one right here. Let me take this off, and you can see the difference. You'll see it's longer and easier to machine, cheaper to buy, $3.04, $18.25 for the same thing. That's the current price. I'll talk about that in a minute. So you see how that laps over, whereas this one hooks underneath like that. In theory, it's a pretty good idea, but they tend to fall out and they're expensive to make, so they don't use them anymore. Having said that, I've just been in contact with the Eureka Electrical Equipment Manufacturer in Northeast, that's the name of the town, Pennsylvania, where they still make these. And that's where I got the prices, $3.04, $18.25, because of the labor on that. Now what we're going to do, as I said, we're going to save as much of the original as we can. But we can't save those, or there's one that might be salvageable, but by and large they're pretty well worn out. We're going to buy new screws. This is a very special screw with a very shallow countersink, and it's an unusual 1424 thread, which used to be a standard in electrical industry but isn't so much anymore.